I've been feeling positively sick. As of 2 weeks ago, my YouTube channel had been taken over by hackers. And you can imagine, I was devastated. All my work of 4 years, 155 videos becoming monetized, it was all gone. While it's been a nightmare, I have learned loads. I figure if you're watching this video, it's either because you're worried about getting hacked or you've recently been hacked and you're trying to learn what to do once that happens. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 different things that I hope will help you in whatever predicament you might be in. The first is going to be the key things that you need to know if you do get hacked and you've got a YouTube channel. The second is going to be the process of what you do to get your channel back. And then the third is going to be steps that you can take, so hopefully this won't happen to you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Susan Steele. The channel is Going Walkabout. Normally I do travel videos and videos on culture of different countries and so forth. By all means, check out the channel if time allows. However, let's jump right into part 1, and that is how I got hacked. So when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I was so excited and I thought, oh, maybe I'll get some offers to be able to sell some products and so forth on my channel. And so I did something I hadn't done in the previous 4 years, and I put an email address on my channel that said, for business inquiries, please send information here. Well, that led to me getting quite a few inquiries, and I will say that the majority of them were of no value at all. I got a few inquiries that seemed like they were legitimate, but a whole host of them seemed like, click here and give us more information about you so that we can get you a sponsorship. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. So thankfully, I didn't click on a lot of those. However, I will tell you now in hindsight, many of those are fraudulent, so be very careful. However, I've been absolutely so worried all the time about copyright strikes and things of that nature that I enlisted Epidemic Sound for music so I wouldn't have any issues with music. Lo and behold, 2 weeks ago, first thing in the morning, I get an email that looks very official that says, in this particular video, and they were able to name my episode, they were able to name what it was about, and they said that they basically had a chunk of video in there that was copyright infringement. As with many YouTube people, I'm so worried about getting a copyright strike that I probably wasn't thinking real clearly. And there was a link below, which I'll show you. And the link said Google Share. Everything looked really official. And it said, you can review the video that is in copyright infringement here. And that was when I opened the door to the hackers. I stupidly clicked on the link. Because it was Google Share, it says you need to put in your email and password, which I figured, well, that makes sense if you're going to get into this shared account to look at this information that's all part of Google. I tried it twice. The link didn't seem to work. And in less than 5 minutes on my backup account that would get Google alerts for Gmail, I had over 15 alerts. I'll show them to you. That is how quickly the hackers were able to take the information that was put in and change not just my password, my backup phone number, my face, everything was changed within less than 5 minutes. They had 100% total control of that Gmail, which is associated with my YouTube channel in that period of time. I didn't even have enough time to respond to any of the alert emails I was getting to say, this is a fraud. It happened that quickly. At that point, I was completely locked out of my YouTube channel. I was completely locked out of Creator YouTube Studio. I was completely locked out of anything that had that Gmail account associated with it. So this is part 2, and that's what you can do immediately if something like this happens to you. As you can imagine, I was literally hyperventilating with the ramifications of this situation. But the hackers were very smart because basically they cut off every option you have to get in touch with YouTube. So what do? I immediately started reviewing videos like this one, and I looked at several, and they all said the same thing. You need to reach out to YouTube via X, which is the Twitter platform. And that is the only way that you'll be able to get in touch with them. Well, needless to say, I'm 67. I've never tweeted in my life, so I had no idea. So first I had to get a new email address. I had to start a Twitter platform. And then once you do, you need to be able to get the ability to what they call DM, direct message, or what is now called chat. And you need to do that as quickly as possible. When you get onto Twitter, the first thing you need to do is log on to Team YouTube, follow Team YouTube, and immediately tell them what has happened. In my case, I said, Team YouTube, my account has been hacked. Therefore, my channel has been hacked. I have no power to do anything. Please freeze my channel immediately. This is going walkabout. I believe that me tweeting them immediately and asking them to freeze my channel was really critical, because within 6 hours, my channel was down. It was completely dead. But I think even sooner than that, they started monitoring false transactions on my account, and I'll show those to you so that you can see what that looks like. Interestingly enough, around the same time, a friend texted me from California. I'm currently in the UK, and they said, Sue, I was just looking at your channel and it just went. It's just gone. And lo and behold, I logged into YouTube and I put in Going Walkabout, and it said this channel no longer exists. So it was that quick that everything was gone. As soon as I got the ability to direct message to YouTube, they asked me to do some things that they ask everybody to do. They're going to ask you to try to reset or get your Gmail account back. For me, it was very fruitless because I no longer had control of any of the authentication devices for the account. But they want you to go through these steps. And so once you do that, you send them information back and say, look, I literally can't do anything because I no longer have control of anything that would verify this account. Once they do that, they then send you up to kind of a different group of people that will then start taking care of you. In this process, they are going to ask you if you have some very key information, and that is your channel ID, your user ID, and then AdSense information. If you haven't had a problem with hacking and you have a YouTube channel, make sure you have that information somewhere. I did not, as many people don't. And because of that, this process took quite a bit longer than it probably needed to take. Because what's happening next is YouTube is just trying to validate that you really are who you say you are. And so you're going to have to go through a host of questioning and forms that will need to be filled out so that they can say if they feel you're legitimate in this case. All of this can take several days. I had listened to some people who said that it took them 3 days. For me, it was 10 days. I can tell you that out of that 10 days, 3 of the days were user error on my part because I didn't understand how to get them certain information, or I didn't understand how to log into something properly. So I might have been able to get away with a little bit less time. Nonetheless, the process is the process, and they have to go through it very methodically. Once you get through that initial phase, they'll hand you over to a group that's more dedicated to your problem, and things tend to go a little bit more expeditiously. They have very key things that they're going to ask you to do. I won't go into detail on them because I'm sure they probably wouldn't want me to share that with everybody, but make sure you know how to send a large video file. I did not. I will tell you that if you go to Google Drive, you can send a large video file, but what you need to make sure you do is allow other people to see it. Otherwise, it'll be sent so that they can't open it. So things of that nature can cause the process to take a bit longer than it needs to. So once YouTube feels confident that you are who you say you are, they feel confident that your Gmail account was in fact hijacked, the first thing they'll do is they will get that account back for you. Obviously, then you need to reset the password and everything. You don't get your channel back immediately. That's yet another step that you need to go through. So at this point, you've got your Gmail account back, which is great. You're happy about that, but you can't get into anything. You can't get into Studio. You can't get into YouTube, nothing. However, what they will do is then refine the questions that they're asking you, have you send them some more information. And then for me, it was in about 24 hours that they literally sent me an email and said, you can go ahead and log into your account again. When I got that email, I was over the moon. I had 2 weeks of not sleeping, not wanting to eat. I was just absolutely a bundle of nerves. So that was wonderful. They have more things that they're going to ask you to do to clean up the account, to make sure that the hackers have not changed any important information. And they give you a list so you don't have to feel worried. It's not like you have to kind of figure this out on your own. They're very thorough with asking you what to do. So after 14 days of high drama and absolute intense worry, I got my account back. All my videos were fine, which isn't the case with everyone. None of them had been tampered with. I will tell you that the reason that these hacks get done is they're using them for Bitcoin, to sell Bitcoin. And what they do is they take over the account, then they do a live stream of selling Bitcoin. I thought my account was kind of a feeble one to get, but because it was a phishing attack and they just got me, I was a little fish. I only have 12,000 subscribers. I wasn't going to do a lot of good for them. But if they can get into the bigger accounts, they can keep these live feeds going for quite some time. And apparently they make a lot of money off of that. So this is part 3, and that's preventative measures. And my God, I wish I would have listened to a video like this before I got hacked. First off, if you have a YouTube channel, make sure that you have the 3 key bits of information I mentioned before, which is your user ID, your channel ID, and then your AdSense account. Secondly, they offer, I think it's like 5 different security services for your account. I mean, use all 5, face scanning and you name it. Make sure that the backup phone is correct, that you want them to get in touch with you at, and vice versa. Make sure that the email is a Gmail that backs up your account. I had a Yahoo account, and because of that, it stopped me in being able to retrieve my account. So make sure that's a Gmail account. But kind of go the whole hog on the securing that particular email is really critical. I didn't know this before I had a YouTube channel, but I did it serendipitously, and it was the right thing. Whatever email you use that is dedicated to your YouTube channel, do not use it for anything else. Only use it for YouTube. Don't use it for finances. Don't use it for emailing people. Don't use it for shopping. Only use it for your YouTube account. That way, if you have a problem like I did, a hacking issue, that is contained in a sandbox. It's not touching your other things. Just think if I had had banking accounts that I had used that similar email with, I would have been losing my mind. So do yourself a favor and make sure that that Gmail account is dedicated only to your YouTube channel. And I know everyone hears this a million times. Don't click or open anything that you don't know where it's coming from or who's sending it. I get it. And yet I got sucked in. And will I again? Hopefully I will not. Because now what I will always do is if I get an email from someone and it sounds very official, I will go to the source. I will not click on the email or open anything. I will go to the source if I'm truly concerned. And I would say that this is really important to do, especially with banking and things of that nature. There's so much phishing going on, and they're getting so good at mimicking the different sites. As your bank will say, if we have a message to give to you, we're going to give it through the banking platform. You're going to see that in your message box on your banking platform, you're going to see that. It's the same with YouTube. If you've got an issue with copyright or infringement or something like that, YouTube Studio is going to send you a message. So for me to click on something that was from an outside source for copywriting problems was kind of step number 1, stupidity. So for future reference, do not click on anything until you've absolutely validated the source. And I consider myself lucky. First of all, YouTube was great. I cannot speak highly enough of them and the team. And the fact that they cut off my channel so quickly was huge. The hacker was still able to get a few videos that they were trying to upload, but it was cut off before they could do anything. I've heard many people that have 300, 500 videos where a hacker has got in, YouTube gets them back into their own account, and the hacker's still there. and they have to kick the hacker out of the account. So if you have multiple people working on your YouTube account, you need to go over all the security stuff with them, because many times hackers go through a back door of somebody that's working on your account, whether it's somebody that's doing editing for you or marketing or whatever. Make sure that anybody who has permission to your account has the same high standards of emails that they click on, accept, and so forth as well, because that's another way that hackers get into an account. So folks, hopefully you can see this was a horrible and terrifying experience for me, and I've done this video in hopes that it can possibly help some of you not go through the same situation, or if you're in a similar situation, some of the information I've given will help you expedite it in a better way. And fortunately, thanks to YouTube support, we'll be back next week with travel videos and culture videos. So thanks again. Cheers for now.